we're back with another episode of Let Me Be Frank with myself, Simon Houston, Frank McAvennie, and the world's biggest Dallas fan and former Canvas Nethin Colts midfielder, John Higgins. John, how you doing?
Not bad, Simon. Thanks for having me on.
You're just back from your travels, aren't you?
Yeah, I was out in the Far East at one of the Chinese tournaments, but I spent a wee bit longer out there. I know I was meant to maybe come in last week, but just with different sponsors and different things. Good out there for the Snooker boys. It's big sport.
Have you got a wee period now of not travelling much? Are you home for a wee bit?
You're probably more here. There's some tournaments. The Scottish Open's soon up in Edinburgh, and then we've got the UK Championship down in York. So you don't have to jump on a plane, which is good.
Brilliant. What one do you want out of the next one's coming up? Scottish, many teams.
I've only won that Scottish Open, I think, once or twice. I've now played so many years here.
Yeah.
But you always want to try and win it in front of your family and friends, sort of thing. But the UK is obviously a massive event. That'd be good to do well in that one.
I need to ask you about the ending of the match in China there as well. I kind of felt sorry for you a wee bit because it looked as though it was one of those situations where a camera had caught you and you were kind of, venting a wee bit. But it was a ridiculous ending to a match.
A bit of context to it is because a lot of the players when we were out there, there's different session times, right? So there's a lot of matches to get through. So there's sessions 9:30 in the morning, 2:30 in the afternoon, 7:30 at night. So there was no 9:30 in the morning by that point of the tournament that we were at, the last 16. So I'd lost the day previous. I get through, but I'd been pulled off at 5 each. But I knew it was roughly about 7:15, 15 minutes before the night session was going on. So that's all fair and well. But I knew Leo Scullion, the wee Scottish referee, I had seen him behind the cameras the first day. So he said to us, John, we need to come off. So I says, fair dues. So then the following day, there was 50 minutes, I think, before Ding's match coming on, and we've got pulled off at 5 each. But I've not seen Leo behind the cameras, so I'm thinking to myself, we're going to get the match finished. But 2 seconds later, Leo walks around the corner and just starts doing that to me. So I don't know how it happened, but I wouldn't have done it to anybody else because it was Leo. I just says, fuck off. And I think the cameras caught me doing it now, but it wasn't meant in any malice to Leo. It was just the way you were feeling. You were wanting to get the game on me, because then you were having to come back 3 or 4 hours later. So I come back about 11 o'clock at night and lost the decider, and that's you out the tournament. So it's a bit of a nightmare.
So my biggest break in snooker, I think, was 8. So is momentum a big thing? Obviously it is, but if you're having to, you finish playing and then suddenly you get a break of.
Yeah.
You get warm up.
You have to go and train for that 4 hours.
You go back to your hotel and maybe grab a bite to tea. What do you do in 2 or 3 hours now?
I know.
And see, the thing is, see if you asked 99.9% of the players, see if the organisers went in and says to players, look, would you mind, we're going to put the boys on this final frame. All the players would be that's fine, because you know that nobody wants to come back at 3 or 4 hours.
Also, is it not a bonus for maybe the fans who bought tickets for that evening session? You'd be able to say to them, you're getting a wee extra.
It would have been something sometimes.
I think it was the boy that was coming on. There was a lot of fans coming in with him.
Ding's obviously a massive star out in China, and he had a lot of fans. But as you say, now if they can come in and see the final frame of the previous game, all fair and well. But it's just the way it went. But
before we go to talk about Celtic and John's knowledge of yourself and whatever, did you ever play snooker? I never asked you that.
I used to play with, remember Frank, we did go God rest him, Big Frank.
Frank was a good player, wasn't he, Frank?
Good player of snooker. And we used to, there was a guy that was a Scottish master, can't remember who he was. We used to go in after training at St Mum, and we used to go and get
Eddie Sinclair.
Eddie Sinclair.
Eddie Sinclair.
Eddie used to come in and play, and it was great just to.
Eddie have a couple of pints.
I used to just go and I used to get the beers on. That was it. They two play.
Eddie was a character.
It was good. I was good.
Frank was a character.
He taught me. I mean, I'm decent at pool now, but it's because it's like a table's too big. It was,
I'm finding that as well just now.
So I'm sorry, I kind of let that slip past. You're decent at pool. Because you were decent at pooling as well. There you go. Another thing I read as well, which I thought was great, you don't appreciate this, I suppose, unless you're actually, a snooker player travelling the world, but your cue get ruined because they get wet.
I did, coming back from Saudi Arabia. I was on the flight, 7-hour flight, and it's funny because flight was packed, and this wee boy behind me battered my seat for about 7 hours, kicking my seat, and I'm thinking, do I turn around and say he's mum and dad? But you just know it's a wee boy, so I just sat there 7 hours, and then I got to Paris before getting the flight from Paris to Edinburgh. And I'm sitting having a coffee and I'm looking outside and I'm saying, I've never seen rain like this in all my life. I'm saying, this is unbelievable, this rain. And then when I got to Edinburgh, my ski tube was wringing wet. But I wasn't thinking anything of it. I'm just thinking, all right, it's been raining. So when I got home, I was going to Portugal about 2 or 3 days later. And normally I would get my queue out the ski tube, but I just left it until a couple of hours before going to Portugal. I says, I'll go and get my queue out the ski tube, and I've got the queue out, and I'm like, oh no, this doesn't look good. The case, the queue, everything was ruined.
So what was it?
Aye, it was, so I had to get another one.
So
does that make a big difference, the sight in the head?
It's more in the head, Frank.
I know. I know, it's the boots and all that, innit?
Probably ruined Stephen Henry's career when you think about it. He won all the world titles with he got his broken, then he was never the same player. But I've had a few queues over the years. I personally think it's good to change your queue every few years because the wood's getting better quality and it's better. So it's like golf clubs.
Yeah, golf's like a putter, I suppose. You're not going to change a putter all that often. Well, you do because you
change my grip.
Aye, change your grip. But over a maybe a kind of 30-year snooker career, how often on average would somebody maybe change their queue?
Every 5 years.
3 or 4 times, I don't know.
Well, you can have some players that have kept the same queue. Take Doherty, for instance. He's kept his queue right the way through from he was a young boy to right now, which I've told him he's off his head because the queue's garbage. And you think to yourself, if somebody could just give you a better piece of wood, because he still practices and still enjoys the game, I say you would be getting better results, but he just wants to keep this queue.
I suppose golf's a good comparison to technology. People buying a new driver and that extra 30 or 40 yards.
When Wilson sponsored me, when they sponsored me, it's the best clubs. Honestly, it's the best clubs I've used.
Mark Wilson sponsoring you,
Wilson, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The clubs are 20 yards. 20 yards. I get 20 yards forward. It doesn't keep it straight, but it gives me 20 yards forward.
Oh well, listen, while we're on the subject, if Mr. Titless is watching, Christmas is coming up, so we'll probably get back on the snooker at some point. Obviously,
don't bother. Talk about Celtic.
I know. Talking about, I don't know if I'll be serious. I would imagine, talking about using your own queue and all that. There's a great story about the Lisbon Lions. B. Bobby Lennox. I was in Cork and my missus said to him, what do you think when you see that photo of the big Billy walking out with his chest and all the boys walking out? And he says, the boots. She says, what do you mean the boots? What happened? Adidas had sponsored them for the final apparently. They were getting club money and getting players money. So they had to wear them at training. And a lot of boys didn't wear this, and they were going, I don't like them. Kind of going to a most important game of their career. So I think it was nearly, I don't know if it's nearly mocking or maybe one of them. Just gave me the boots and painted them all black. Put 3 stripes on them.
So they all wore their own boots.
But you actually see them as you see the photo. I'll never be able to look at that photo again because you actually see the lines.
And did you think? I've never thought of them.
No,
but did you think? Obviously, Adidas saw the players wearing Adidas now. You're at your football and the boots and things.
Well, I was sponsored with Puma, so I was different. It was great.
If you look at
Puma King's best one,
the best picture of all is when Billy's shaking hands with a Milan captain at the start of the match, and it's a full length image. So if you zoom right into his boots, and it's almost like whoever is taking a bottle of Tipex or something. Because they're just wee squinty lines. They don't look, like.
Absolutely.
I wonder what Mr. Adidas was saying to that. No, I mean,
but nobody knows it until now. Nobody knows that.
That's right. I know. It's been good.
This podcast has been good for the last.
I think you're right. Last now that Adidas have got it shut down. So what we're going to do now?
I know.
Right. So what's your first recollection of Frank McAvennie? And without giving away your age, but we know your age.
No, it wouldn't really be playing when you were with St Mirren or that. It would be with West Ham when he was down there, because obviously I just loved watching football, and you'd some of the big games on. And with him and Tony Cotty, you know what I mean? That would be my first recollection. What year would that be? 86. 86.
Aye.
So I was about 9, 10, just watching every bit of football that you could, and then obviously then we had the chance of coming back up to
coming up the road.
Did you get to many games as again, I'm kind of thinking, to be as good as at snooker as you became, probably spent a lot of your time obviously playing snooker. Did it interfere much with your kind of watching Celtic?
See, the thing was, it was always a radio. It was always a radio coming back for tournaments at the weekend that my dad was taking me to, and that was roughly the centenary year, really. Now when ages of 12, 13, because I'm going to all the tournaments at the weekend, and I was beginning to. My older brother, he was 2 or 3 years older than me, he was beginning to take me to the games. So going to the games, obviously during the centenary season, and then obviously then when we beat Dundee, remember the final. I always thought that game finished 2-0. I didn't know it was 3-0 because remember Andy Walker scored, and then he scored again. Right away. So I was in the jungle that day.
Another one I made him.
But the thing on that day was that I don't know what the official attendance was. Absolutely, because there was like folks spilling onto the track.
Well, I seen him on the track. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a guy from Milton. Was on the track and he was just disabled, but I'm going, what happened to you? He's going, no, it's the only way I can get it.
It was absolutely. Of course, I'm not casting any aspersions towards the Celtic board at the time, but the official attendance would come out and you're like
34,000. It's 34,000.
I always remember.
It's the busiest I've seen it. Tommy Burns was saying that it was all around the red ash everywhere. It was incredible.
You didn't score that day, did you?
Nah, just made a couple.
Because I think Chris Morris scored.
Chris
and Andy get two.
Andy get two.
Yeah. Wow.
Don't care. As long as we won, I didn't mind. Didn't bother me.
And then obviously during it was the Scottish Cup as well. And then coming back against Hearts in the semi-final.
It was so surreal because I was talking to somebody that was played in the Stranraer team when we beat them.
Right.
Because they battered us at Parkhead. Absolutely battered us. I scored, and I'm thinking we're going to 9 or 10 here, And then we never done that, and they just pummeled us, and they got a penalty, missed a penalty. And it could have been so different.
Story could have been different.
It could have been the story could have been written so different. In fact, but listen, I said to the guys, a lot of coulda, shoulda, wouldas and all that. You didn't do it. I didn't do it. So.
Exactly.
I made a wee joke about Camus and Colts at the start, but you played a wee bit of football.
I played obviously. What does any young boy do?
Of course.
You play on the bike, play football when you were younger. I love football. I thought it was okay for my standards roundabout, but I know you're probably going to then bring this up. I remember playing a Scottish Cup game, never forget it, and I played midfield, and the manager was saying, this young boy you're going to be up against in midfield, it looks as if he just signed S-forms with Rangers. A guy called Charlie Miller, and I'm like, all right, that's fine. Oh my God. As I said, blew the whistle, and then I never seen him the rest of the game. It was just, I think that was probably the reason why I said to myself, I'll never be any good at football. Because when you see somebody that is really good at football, you think, right, you've got to try and do something else. And I just tried to then stick in at snooker after that. But
Charlie still plays, brilliant. Charlie, we go to Dubai every year, and he still puts a shift in. He's good. The touch never loses you. He's different class with Charlie. Good boy as well.
Brilliant.
So your career rammed with trophies. Was it how many? 4 World Championships, obviously. 31 titles.
Is that about 31 ranking titles
as well? And I always think when I look at you, I mean, in the last 2 or 3 years, you always get really far in the World Championships as well. So a couple of close things. Have you got another one in you, do you think?
But listen, I've got to be honest. I don't think you give yourself enough credit sometimes for winning one of the world titles, because it's a long 17 days. Realising now when you're playing in it and you're there for like 17 days, long matches. As you're getting a bit older, it certainly takes out you see mentally. Just try to keep that concentration going. But I suppose when you're in the middle of your career and you've won a few, you think, they're not easy to win, but you think easier. But now you think, God, it's just climbing Everest every couple of days, again and again. I had a good one against Mark Allen last year, 13-12.
Well, that was tremendous when you cleared to win the final.
That's what I mean. So you come off after that match, you're in such a high, you can't get to sleep, and then the next day you're on again playing a guy, Kyrie Wilson, who's who's desperate to win his first world title. He's champing at the bit, and you're just sitting in your chair, and he's potting the balls, and you just seem to be getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And think, it's tough. It's tough.
There's probably differences as well between the 22-year-old John Higgins and the 42-year-old John Higgins, like physically as well. Maybe eyesight and that kind of thing. Does that play a part in it?
Yeah, my eyesight's beginning.
It's over there.
It's beginning to go. It's beginning to go. But I've probably been lucky that I've got to age 49 and it's still stayed pretty good, because there has been a lot of players in the last few years, over the years, that the eyesights have went a lot earlier. So I've got to be honest and say I've won a watch a wee bit.
So when you first started, playing regularly among the professionals, who were the main players at that point? Was Alex Higgins around at that point?
He was.
You must have one or
Did you ever run into him?
One or two stories.
A couple of times.
By the way,
I met him in Glasgow, actually. Him and Jimmy White. I was staying in where is it, Hilton now, Cambridge Street. You didn't used to be Hilton, did it? It used to be another hotel, but I was in there, and somebody says Higgins and Jimmy White are across the road. There's a wee bar across the road, so of course I went and joined them. Oh, I wish I'd stayed in my room. Honest to God, I couldn't talk for 2 days. They boys can drink. They were. You talk about leagues. They were up there. They were the Super League.
Somebody says Oliver Reed. He says about Alex Higgins. He says he was the only guy he wouldn't go out with.
That's brilliant.
But no, Higgins actually didn't take a liking to me at all, because because my surname was Higgins. And a couple of times he came up and said a few derogatory things, as if to say, look, me man, you'll never be. There'll never be another Higgins in this game, so just you're as well wrapping it just now. Saying things like that, and you're thinking,
did he maybe know you were a Celtic supporter?
No, I don't. It just wasn't. It just didn't. It wasn't nice. Just a young boy coming into the game. Because guys that you look up to, you're thinking. Whereas the guys like Jimmy White, and he was like, on you go, young man, like, you do well. And you'll always remember little things like that. But your first
it's that classic never meet your heroes either.
I used to go down to Southend and Cliff Thorburn and all that. They were all down there. Great guys.
Celtic, that was my mum's favourite. She loved Cliff.
I know, they were all down there. And the Canadian boy, who was the Canadian boy, used to go down there?
Webbernick.
No, the young boy.
Kurt Stevens. Kurt Stevens.
I had a couple of nights with him. He liked it. He liked the night out as well. He was. They were all going about London when I was there, so it was good fun.
Well, see, back in the day, they were stars, weren't they? I mean, you would probably recognise them if they were out, whereas now you could probably see any snooker player walking about and you maybe wouldn't recognise them. They were massive stars.
When it became, I suppose I think Alex Higgins probably played a big part in that, and making it a big television sport. And again, maybe 3 or 4 channels.
Why do you think that is then?
Things for people to watch now as well. I think that's probably it. I mean,
I was going to say there's more TV for it now, more coverage of it, but they just don't watch it.
See, talking about snooker now, people always going about 18.5 million watched Davis and Taylor, the Blackpool final, the biggest match ever.
Yes.
It's not really. You can look at all the matches all around the world now, and it's hundreds of millions watching it because of the Far East influence. So massive occasion in the British viewing, but now world viewing.
So that's interesting actually, because the Crucible contract I think ends in 2027, and there's talk of the World Championship maybe going overseas. And I think you said that probably wouldn't be a good thing. But if you think about the global audience, does it matter? Does it matter where it is? Do you think?
I think.
But he's not giving them the thing to build it up, make it bigger.
I think
an option.
The people running it, obviously, it's the Herons that run World Snooker, and they're obviously doing a lot of deals in the Far East and different things. So I just think it's just got to be natural that it's got to be leaving the UK shores. I'd love to be proved wrong, because you would love it to stay at the Crucible now, because so much history. It's like Wimbledon and different things, but you've got to move with the time. The younger generation haven't got the same ties with the Crucible, and a lot of the younger generation are coming from Europe and the Far East, so they've not got the same ties that we had when we were growing up in the 80s, watching it every year. So
because you did say to them, didn't you, if you make it bigger, let's build on it.
I think
because they know they're not going to do it.
Going to build it now, because it would be lying dormant for 51 weeks of the year, really. So
that's a good point as well. So you're approaching 50, and have you got an idea in your mind about how long you'll continue to play?
I'll continue playing as long as the thing is now, at my stage of my career, as I said, the Far East influence, I've contracted with like a couple of companies out there, and you're going out and spending more time out there because snooker's such like a big sport out there, so they want you to maybe then come out in the next few years and teach some of the young boys and impart some of your so-called knowledge on the game. Better be the good knowledge, but I would continue to do that.
Sure.
That's what I would do. But I still think I can play well and still compete. But it's just natural. You get to a stage of your life or career where snooker's not the be all and end all, and then you're maybe looking for different things.
And also, I suppose, travelling the world too. You're away from your family for a length of time, so you maybe you kind of see that finishing line a wee bit and think, actually, now I could spend a bit more time at home.
I think you say to yourself, like, you probably had it as a footballer, Frank, as well. Like, if people knew when you're mid-20s, right, you're not going to be playing here, playing this match, playing that match, you'd be thinking, oh no, I wish I was doing that. But when you get older, you just think it's natural. You just think, look, I might not be playing in that tournament, might not be playing that tournament, I'll spend my time doing different things.
Did you ever do that thing where, with Christmas and New Year coming up, you always see folk getting booked? Or saying,
I did it quite a lot, I did it quite a lot. The only one I didn't do it was playing against Rangers. That was I stayed in it.
But you always, there was always, I'm not obviously going to name names, but there was always a suspicion that one or two players would maybe get a wee red card or yellow card and then disappear home for the festive period.
They do actually.
Back to maybe South America or something.
I was in Glasgow a couple of times when I was down in London, so it was good. Obviously a mistake.
Don't want to land you in trouble.
I know.
You won't get any retrospective.
It was never about it.
There was a great story again, I can't remember if I read this or I saw it on YouTube, about your brother and Mo Johnston playing in that. This is great. Have you heard this?
No. Never heard this one. I was younger. I was about I was about 12 and our Jason was about 15, and he was picked out, and he was picked out to partner Mo Johnston, and the late great Davy Cooper was partnering another young Scottish player. And it was before, back in the day, Steve Davis done like a road tour with Stephen Hendry when Hendry was only about 18, and I think they played 6 nights up in Scotland, and they always say that was probably to the detriment of Steve, because Davis beat Hendry every single night, and then Hendry obviously learned to play against him. But anyway, they had to have a match before it, and our Jason partnered Mo Johnston, so Mo Johnston's obviously playing with Celtic, and I always remember this, we're getting beat 1-0 with Falkirk, and our Jason and Mo Johnston were getting beat 1-0 that night against Davy Cooper and the partner. And obviously you get half the fans Celtic shout, come on Mo, you can do it, you done it earlier on the day. Sure enough, they done it. Come back, Jason and Mo Johnston come back 1-2-1. So the pride of place, Mo Johnston, Jason, pictures, my mum's got them up everywhere next to like all the wee trophies and that me and him had won. And then the day came through that obviously Mo Johnston had then signed for Rangers. I'll never forget it. Or Jason's come running in for school, and like my mum was like, he's come run right in, he's ran right into the trophy cabinet, and he's grabbed all the pictures and he started running. My mum's trying to get him to stop. He's up. My mum had a book with pictures and he's ripping all them. Fucking Mo Johnston. But not one picture of me got. He chased Mo Johnston because he ripped them all up. Because obviously
there was a lot of families fighting up when that happened, didn't it? There was a lot of families.
That was unbelievable.
Imagine the amount of 40s that were getting ripped up then.
I think obviously it's different now, the sectarian, and obviously the Rangers were only signing Catholics. If it has happened, didn't it, with Kenny Miller and
there's a few in Presley and all that, they've all done it. There's a few of them done it. Back in the day, Souness was the one that tried to, I mean, I knew what he was trying to do, trying to get me, but I knew what he was wanting. Right. You know, I knew what he was wanting to do, but I'm saying, you know, I was in a room with him, I'm saying, it's never going to happen, you know, it's the west of Scotland, it's no like another place in the world. No. You can't, you know, I appreciated he was just wanting to break that divide down, but there's too many dying-the-world Rangers boys that just didn't want anything to do with that.
You're probably well received for both sets of fans, aren't you? Whereas, can you imagine it was you that done that?
Well, it wouldn't have been as bad for me, John, because I was at West Ham at the time.
Right enough.
So I hadn't played for Celtic.
Oh no, right enough. I'm
so
thinking if you had played.
He says it had to be me, Morris, or Charlie Nicholas, because
Right.
3 high-profile Roman Catholics, basically.
Right.
And that's what it was. That's what he wanted to break it, you know.
it was
But
such
most dad get punched in the pub that night. I mean, I knew it would bring your family into it. And that's, you know, it's a bit...
But I think it was also, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a massive thing that happened, no matter where you look at it. But it was the fact that he came back and said, I'm coming back to Celtic and we're going to rejoin.
There was blaming both sides. When Billy got him in a 40 with the Celtic shirt and he hadn't signed, I mean, that was...
I know, but if he'd gone from non to Rangers, then it would have been a massive story anyway. But it was the fact that he came back and he's photographed beside
that's the
Billy.
biggest thing.
I can still picture that black and red Dennis and Menace jumper he was wearing as well.
Because it was one of them, I better get a 40 the day before, and Billy says, we'll get 40s, and he shouldn't have done it.
How can you know sign the contract? as you
I mean, who would pose in a strip before actually signing for the team?
I was going to say that.
Barry Thistle. Do such a thing for
I know, it's a wee bit different.
a wee bit, but aye.
Aye, I know, sorry.
I know.
Sorry, Thistle supporters.
What about the guys that are on the snooker tour? Obviously you're Celtic, but is there other... but with any big West Ham fans, for example, do many of them follow?
West Ham fans? Nah, there's no really.
Where's Ronnie? Because his dad was a...
He changes like the one.
Does he?
Aye,
Whoever's winning.
Aye, I was younger and he's like, Arsenal, yeah. Then he was a Spurs fan, and then he was staying in Liverpool, and he was a Liverpool fan. He just goes with the wind.
I just assumed they were a big West Ham
No. Jimmy White, Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Couple of our boys, Joe Perry, Arsenal, big Arsenal fan. But no, they're not really ran into. They don't obviously know Frank McAvennie, but they don't. No, they wouldn't really say West Ham. Really? But they always sort of try to take the mickey out the Scottish game a wee bit. No, I mean, but they can't really do it this year with Celtic.
No, they can't.
No, they can't.
Do it this year. See, do you get many games at the moment?
See, this year I've actually not been to one game this year. Just because I've been away at tournaments and different things. And
he gave me a ticket.
I know. It's like my boy started a new job, so he can go at weekends now. And my daughter, she plays the football as well, so she loves going to watch it as well. So whenever I'm home, I'm just like, just yous go. You know what I mean? Because you've been long enough, and if they want to go, they say they were at the Leipzig game. I was in the Far East watching it at 5 in. And they says, Dad, that atmosphere that night.
Atmosphere was incredible. It's been a long time since I've been proud of the boys like that, but that night I was...
That's the best quality. I've seen Celtic, Frank. I think I play nearly ever. They played amazing that night. Amazing.
We were discussing it. Who did we have? We had somebody in the following day. It was Bobby Bluebell, wasn't it?
Bluebell, yeah.
And we were discussing that, how that match compared to, and I think we'd said maybe the Leon game when Larsson and Sutton scored, which was absolutely top drawer. Obviously beating Barcelona in 2012, but it was a different kind of game,
Juventus, remember the Champions
that was a tremendous game, but it was a kind of dead rubber.
I was in the stand, see when we got Juventus get a free kick and Del Piero assists a goal. And they're going, don't be so stupid. Del Piero was a wonder kid, didn't he? He curled it round. What a goal. I know. I was down to clap my hands, but I thought I could. I was in the wrong place.
But just the style that they were playing, the style. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I didn't want Rodgers back. It's terrible to say it. Just with how leaving and could I get that 10 in a row and different things. But I've had to eat humble pie because the way he's got his back playing.
I liked it, but the first game we get battered, and he says, I'll never change, and I thought, you will. And he did, because you've got to, I mean, like Ange didn't change his defence, he didn't want to defend. But Brendan's a wee bit shrewder than that, you've got to.
Previously as well, because a lot of things he didn't do first time round.
Defenders now,
and you can only lose 7-1 so many times before it must get pretty.
Well, I mean, I think Trusty and Carter Vickers, that's the two going forward. I mean, no disrespect to Scales, he's been brilliant, and he's great, because Carter Vickers will come in and out. And he'll be good, but they too.
Last night against England as well. Now the public were doing all right, and then he's brought down Belly and won it. Now he's can't dive in it. But he's done brilliant for Celtic.
He's done brilliant. I've seen that. But when you go to see when the two of them were playing against Celtic, it was like the two of them. You think that's a partnership. The two Americans, aren't they?
They get slated a bit with America as well, don't they? They're not really well received.
Well, Trustees apparently they think more of Trusty than what they do of Carter Vickers. So I'm like, well, if he's that good,
it's probably like the Japanese boys, like Kyogo doesn't get a look in the Japan.
Well, he was back in that last squad there. He got back in. But no, the thing about Rodgers coming back, I kind of took the view at the time that obviously there was a lot of people didn't want him back because of what had happened.
Aye.
But you could argue he was an upgrade on Postecoglou.
Of course.
You know,
And that's the only reason, because a lot of our Celtic fans were thinking we were so close to, if he'd have stayed,
Yes.
I think we would have got the 10. I know Gerrard was coming, but I think, because he does seem to have Rangers' number big time, didn't he?
Brilliant.
So
I know he's seen off of 14 managers or something.
By the way, what happened with Snooker during lockdown? I was just thinking about that whole period, about that kind of lockdown season, and how football was just horrible to watch, you know.
Well, we were lucky. We were lucky. We were still managing to play tournaments.
Yeah.
Although we had to play the tournament in the one place, it was down in the MK Dons. It was like in their football stadium, and they'd like a big auditorium within the hotel. So we were lucky, but it was crazy. We're playing like the China Open, and now where were we? Where were we playing? MK Dons? Where is MK? Milton Keynes. We were playing the China Open. That would help. We played the China Open in Milton Keynes. It was surreal, but I think everything was surreal regarding COVID, wasn't it? It was just.
Did you have to play with a mask on, did you?
No, we had to walk everywhere with the mask, but at the table. We weren't allowed to use the rest. We'd have our own rest because the other guy might pick up. It was just crazy.
What does the winter mean for you when it comes to, like, you know, Christmas and so on? Is there tournaments around the world as well?
It's always York, the UK Championship, last 10, 11 years. And it's always coincides with the missus' birthday, so she always comes down to York. It's a lovely place, York. So you go. But this year, I've got a couple of tournaments out the Far East over Christmas. We're going to be spending time, me and the wife and two of my kids. The oldest one, he's like, Dad, I'm 23 now, I'm not coming on holiday with my mum and dad. So I think we've got another maybe year out my middle boy, and then it'll be left with the daughter. She's 16, so how long else you've got with the daughter? She'll be saying, Dad, I'm not coming with you as well. So then it'll just be.
But I suppose it depends where you're going, though. The older ones might say no, and then you say where you're actually going. No, I fancy a bit of that.
I think they say, I think when they go older they might come back, but I think when they're younger they're like with their pals and boyfriends.
So my oldest two are like, you know, we're not coming on holiday anymore, and then we maybe booked a ski trip or something. Oh, actually, well, do you know what? Where's it going?
I'll maybe come. We've got about 10 days out over Christmas out the Far East, so we'll enjoy that.
Lovely out there as well.
It's lovely. Some of the cities, you've probably never heard of, but they're absolutely stunning. They look after you, always look after you really well, and things like that. So
a lot of the places out there, as you say, you never heard of them, but put this place to shame.
Oh, incredible!
Incredible, isn't it?
Incredible. Airports, infrastructure, trains, everything. It's a different world.
A wee reminder every day to subscribe. And it's free, isn't it?
It's free, just press a button. It's easy, even I can do it.
Button there, Frank can do it. Our numbers on TikTok and Instagram are fantastic. YouTube's great as well, but free subscribe doesn't cost you anything. It'd be really good to get the numbers up. John, we do a thing called Frank's for the Memories, right? Where we ask people questions about Frank's career. Bianca Westwood is the first to get 5 out of 5.
All right.
Did she?
Aye.
She
did actually. I was her favourite. Tony Cottage. You know me, Tony. She did it because she was a favourite in that game. She called me a rock star.
A rock star.
I was a rock star. Go on.
With this first question,
Go on, B.
I'll give you a wee bit of leeway with this first question because we keep a couple of minutes either side, right? Centenary Cup final.
Yes.
Frank's equaliser. Celtic's first goal. How many minutes?
86. 86.
No, it was earlier than that. Do you know the answer to that?
14 minutes to go or something.
It was 76. Because the winner was on 90 minutes.
I can't remember why I would know that.
I just thought
the winner. You've got the winner.
Aye. The Hearts, they were both right at the end.
Right at the end.
Weren't they?
Yeah.
Second question was on that same final. This is one not a lot of people remember, but do you remember who the Celtic goalkeeper was in the Centenary final? I'll give you a wee clue. He was another Irishman.
Was it McKnight?
Yes, brilliant.
McKnight,
I know he did. Well, I got him to West Ham because he was hopeless at Celtic. So.
This is a bit unfair, but I'll ask you anyway, because if you get it right, I'll be absolutely amazed, right? But Frank's debut was a home match, and it was a one each draw. You remember who it was?
One each draw. St Mirren.
No, it was not. And I feel a wee bit bad asking. It was Hibs. Do you remember it?
Aye, of course I do. It was my debut, of course I remember. Game passed by fairly quickly, to be honest with you. It was one of the proudest moments in football, because when I went out, not just because it's Celtic, but seeing my mum and dad and all that sitting in the stand. My dad took me all the games, so it was...
Would you know
felt a wee bit like...
Did you know where
I knew where they were sitting, but it was a bit like the new boy that signed Coco, and that smell on his face.
The boy
McCowan. That's when he walked out and the smell on his face, that was me.
Brilliant.
And it was just like, the game was passed by, fairly quickly.
Fourth question, I'll give you leeway with this, if you, a couple either side, but can you remember how many goals he scored in the centenary season? I'm not going to ask you this. Was it as many as you would think?
No, it's not.
Shared a bit with Andy Walker and...
Shared a bit? I made them all his goals.
I'll say 18.
Not far away, it was 15, but you're in there, the ballpark.
Didn't sign you end to start in November, October, end of October.
Right. Well, okay,
so not bad, is it? I know, Andy says, I'm top goal scorer. I says, I never started. I never came at the end of October.
And the final one is, can you remember how much West Ham paid to sign him from Celtic to go back down?
$1 million.
Close enough, 1.25.
1.25, yeah.
So there you go. I'm not sure where that puts you in the leaderboard. We'll have a look. We'll give you the goals in the centenary season. I think the Hibs ones you've done fair. Right, so
1.25. So I'm sitting 4 then.
I know, that's it. 4.
Everybody who knows anything about John Higgins will know that he's a Dallas super fan. How did that come about?
I just don't know. It might have been, it was on maybe before the Snooker highlights or something, who knows. It was on 8 o'clock every single night in our house, and I just loved that Pam. She's when you're grown up. So but then when you think of JR, you just think, he was just a hero. Just some of his word liners, just incredible.
It's always a highlight of my year when the oil baron's ball.
I know. But no, I know. I seen about the ribbon I get out of that, and then I'd done it on was it Master?
Celebrity Mastermind.
I'd done it, and it was, oh God, it was surreal sitting there and you're asking questions and you're answering about Dallas.
But you actually did really well in it. You're chosen specialist subject. You did all right. I'm trying to remember the ones. There was only a couple you got wrong.
I only got a couple wrong. But then it went into general knowledge and it quickly went downhill.
Hoping Dallas questions.
Exactly.
I know.
No, general knowledge would be too good.
Come out of TARDIS to shiver. That was best. That was me. I stopped watching after
I think that's where it started going downhill.
I stopped watching.
So you said you were maybe heading out there to
well, I'm 50 next year, and I think the missus, she says it's a surprise, but I love everything about JFK as well, so about going to try and do like the tour. And
of course, the grassy knoll and all that.
Aye, it's a lot of love for the history of that as well.
Apparently they get X's on the road where they get shot and all.
Well, apparently they did, and then they took it away because it was too disturbing. Some people got it was back again.
They were out there for the boxing.
That's right.
And it was. I was listening to the boys who were saying that he'd done it. One of the wee guys that was boxer went and done the tour. See, it was fascinating. And it's kids where he would get shot and you laugh.
Who done it?
Who done it? It was him in the front. The driver.
The guy who assassinated Kennedy. We're talking about.
Aye. I remember.
Lee Harvey Oswald.
Lee Harvey.
And then he, of course, gets shot by
Jack Ruby. I knew him as Mister.
Oh, this has been great fun. John, enjoyed having you on.
Great,
thank you.
And it's like, how many air miles think you do in a year? You ever worked that?
I've not worked it out. No, a lot. Quite a lot.
How are you feeling on it? Because I'm starting to getting older. I'm struggling in the planes. I'm not struggling, but I keep getting uncomfortable. Have to go and walk about.
I'm normally not too bad. It's fine.
Is it private? Is it?
No.
You got a bed?
Aye, sometimes. But no, that helps, doesn't it? Sometimes, obviously, you can't justify it.
I know.
So some of the prices, because the prices have went through the roof.
I know they have.
Obviously after COVID, so sometimes you think.
So when you're going over there, I'll take it. They pay for the flights and that, do they?
No. You've got to square everything up yourself.
Have you?
You've got to square your.
Plus, it's a bit like a golfer as well. I mean, you win prize money, and from that prize money, you're kind of paying for your. That's why guys are really struggling, no making the cut. It becomes a real struggle.
You don't get paid at all if you don't make a cut.
I know. If you're going out there doing things with your sponsors and things, they'll pay. But if they realise that you're out there, and that's why they always try to maybe piggy bank on some of the tournaments that knowing you're going to be out there.
You're going there anyway, so any
you're
chance
going there anyway, so just come round and see us after it. So, but.
Do you play golf? Do you ever?
I was playing a lot, Frank, like for a year of that there, and then last year I didn't play one game. This year.
You think you out over there in downtown?
No,
because good courses. I would think
you're too invested in the tournament. You think, I'll need to practice here.
Getting out of their own beds.
A lot of people, once they actually finish their day job or retire from their day job, golf becomes something that people maybe even in their kind of 50s will take up. You know, are you going to take up golf?
I never played. When I played football, I never played golf. No, never.
How many times a week do you play now? Like obviously in the summer, would you still play in the winter?
Aye.
Would you? Aye.
I did it in Donald.
Right.
I didn't coach. It doesn't matter if Donald or there is other golf courses.
Exactly. You don't been playing as much after your car crash right enough. Did you see that?
I know. I've seen the picture. Aye.
Got lucky. My knee still sore, so it's all right. I'm getting still hitting the ball. 240, so it's good.
You're still at 240? One behind.
One behind, 7 hours.
Short games to die for, innit?
I know.
I need to ask you that actually. Do you find when you're obviously when a snooker player, does that help with like putting and things like that?
I could do some days, done it, and then other days you've got listen, there's no shortcuts in sport, no. I mean, and if you don't play, I'm not a golfer anyway, but I'm certainly not any good if I've not been playing for like a couple of months. So you've got to be playing, haven't you?
But people keep saying you've got to play all the time, but see when you're playing, you're not practicing. You've got to practice really. You've got to go down. That's a tip. You know, don't people think they're practicing when they're playing all the time, but you're not because you're thinking of shots and it's just go down and practice.
Right. Well, we've covered everything. We've been over in Dallas. We've talked about golf. We've
talked about Sue Ellen.
That's great.
He's not spoken at Celtic enough.
Actually, that's a fair point. What's your prediction? How do you, before we finish up, actually, how do you see them with this episode may go out after the Bruges game, so we don't know at this stage. But do you think we've got a chance of?
I do think we've got a chance of qualifying.
I think we'll beat. If we beat Bruges, we'll qualify.
In the young boys as well.
And the young boys, if you beat them, they'll qualify. I think we'll be in top 8, won't you? If you beat from my 2 home games.
And then you've got Zagreb and Villa. You're not games.
No, totally.
It's if we won our 2 home games, I think we'll definitely be in
top 8.
I think so. I mean,
that would be incredible.
It would be. And it's in our own hands now. I mean, it's definitely.
I think it's been a brilliant. I mean, I think it's been a brilliant change to the.
I still don't know how it works though.
No, I know, but it doesn't matter. We're up there now. Whereas if we're up against,
it's a great tournament.
And also, I mean, famous last words in all, but when you get to kind of the later stages of tournaments, you're probably less likely to get an absolute hammering because it'll be a bit more edgy in there. You know, whereas in the group stages, teams can just roller coaster you a bit. When
I think, as you say, I think Brendan's learnt his lesson, so I think that'll happen again.
Do you kind of get to meet the players much or mix with them much?
No, never really. No, I've never.
Gary Clark.
Met young Kieran Pearn there a couple of times because he's let out the wish away. Played a couple of games of snooker and that. He was a great player when he was. Love to see him back.
Come back.
I think that's almost a stick on. I think it's a stick on. The only question about it might be if he comes back at a point where we've maybe already got a really good left back or whatever. And the fans maybe.
We've not got a really good left back. I mean,
I know you're a big Taylor fan.
I like Taylor.
No, I like Veal. But I just like Greg to defend a wee bit more. Now sometimes, me as a striker, see if my fullback runs by me, I'd be going, what are you doing? You know, I don't want him outside right, I want him at left back. I mean, that may be old school, they call me old fashioned, but I want my defenders to defend. When I used to play with Big Roy McCarthy, Big Mick used to say, fuck off, don't come back here.
I played golf.
I couldn't handle it.
I played golf with Mick McCarthy in Portugal. I was over there, and somebody invited me over, and it was like some of the footballers, and they were like, who would you like to play with? I'm like, Mick McCarthy. Just get me, try to get around with Mick McCarthy, and then sure enough, I managed to share the buggy all the way around. I was talking about the centenary, and he was telling me about how he stayed in Bothwell, and he said a lot of the Rangers boys were all signed, and he says, I think Souness, he told me the story, Souness come round and he was looking at the house next to Mick McCarthy, and Mick McCarthy was painting he said he was painting his garage, and Souness got out or something, and he says to, I think it was Trevor Francis or something, he says, don't worry boys, we'll get somebody to paint your your fence or something, and Mick McCarthy's like, I want to go out and bang him. just the way you say it to me, he says, I want to get down after the steps and go and bang him, but he was brilliant for us, wasn't he? He was brilliant.
And he couldn't run, he wasn't that quick, but he didn't get by him. Just didn't get by him.
A lion fighting against Goff and Butcher, wasn't he? And he
was see when he got sent off, the guy kept doing, was it Hackham, it's Hearts or Dundee, and the guy kept going through wee Joe, and Mick just walked in, just banged him, walked in.
I'll just go off for it.
I was at Barty, that's it was, I was like, because I had a run in with Mick before I came to Celtic, I broke his nose, didn't I?
Did you?
Man City.
So was he not?
I was shit myself. He was alright. When I said, was he alright?
No, but
he says he didn't like me and all that. He said, but then he got to know me. I was one of his boys, and it was great.
That was great spending just around the golf.
Brilliant, good company
at Celtic. Brilliant.
It is good company.
Time's caught. Listen, getting something that they're joining on is just absolutely brilliant.
Thanks. So
you pulled out the big
Thanks you. I know. Thanks, John. It was just trying to get him when he said he was always in the Far East.
Listen, really appreciate it. And so,
thank you very much, sir.
Just as I said earlier, hit the subscribe button, do all the things you need to do, follow us on social media, and we'll keep getting some tremendous names on to Let Me Be Frank, and we'll see you again for the next episode.